Okay, guys. So, just wanted to do another video here on dismantling narcissism, being a narcissistic detective, and you know, got into some of the steps about narcissism, and all things being on levels, and that being on a level of 1 to 10, and applying that to the narcissism. But he started to get into some of the, what exactly was that, and going through the steps of somebody having a displacement in their life, a void in their life, parental issues, psychological issues, and how that going through different steps, which manifests into them having that void, but they're seeking attention. They're seeking that to be filled. Okay, and they could be filled with something, but then they wouldn't have psychological issues. It would still filled with something good. It could be replaced with something good, but if it's not, it ends up being replaced with something. It will be replaced with something, because that's how this vacuum works. That void that's left, it is going to cause a vacuum. It's going to cause a suction. It's going to cause them to act out on things that may be natural, maybe a natural occurrence, but once that turns toxic and spoils, bad things can happen really fast. Okay, and you don't want to be anything near some of these a narcissist who's going through psychological problems. Okay, but identifying that could be the first step. Okay, so you can just nip it in the bud. You don't have to go through all this psychological detective stuff. You can just get out of there. You can just get this person out of your life. Say you could just start to realize that you will one day have to deal with this person. Okay, so you want to be on a good level. You know what I'm saying? You want to have exit strategies with this person, because you're going to have to realize that one day they may act out on that. Okay, and relationships spoil, things go bad, things change, and when that does, you don't want it to be toxic on your behalf. Okay, and that toxic energy, that toxic environment, when people start to act out on that, it could just get plain nasty. Okay, you don't want to be anywhere near somebody who's going through psychological problems as hard as life is, as hard as they make life, who's only trying to try to seek attention and sabotage your hard work, your efforts, and just so they can be clout chasing, just trying to, they can get a little bit of notoriety for what? I got them off. I mean, it's going to serve no purpose, but you can just use you as a doormat. So, getting into identifying a narcissist, so if you hear somebody say a catchphrase, a narcissistic catchphrase, you're gonna have to realize, you're gonna have to, a red flag should go up, and it should go boing. Whoa, they would say that. So I had done a previous video on somebody saying, "Well, I was the one," okay, and you start to hear somebody say this phrase, "I was the one who did this first, and I was about," and okay, and you may get into it. It may even that even be on a healthy level, but you start to realize that's going to be a red flag. If somebody trying to take credit, they're trying to chase that clout, they're trying to say something else for something that just to say that they did something first, or this and that, and it's not really applicable. They don't really get credit for something, but you start to hear somebody go, "I was the one," just realize that's a red flag. So another narcissistic phrase that if you start to hear somebody say was like, "I did that first," okay, and this and that. Okay, so basically you're gonna have to like nip these things in the bud. You're gonna have to go boing, and you have to realize you're gonna have a red flag there. Okay, that if somebody starts to act out on that, meaning if that starts to affect you, then but they're showing psychopathic tendencies. Okay, psychopathic tendencies just means that, that's what all these things are. That's what the greed, the jealousy, the envy, the attention seeking is. It's psychopathic tendencies, but it's not against the law. They don't have laws against this. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna have to deal with it. You're gonna have to try to actually coach these people. You could do it by showing humility. You could show a positive light. You could, and then if that ain't working, you're gonna have to get, okay, vamonos, okay, because what ends up happening is that the psychological game they're playing. They might be they're attention seeking, but they might be antagonizing you. Okay, and it starts off, somebody poking you. Okay, well then what happens? They cross the line and they've touched you, they've trespassed, and then they're shoving you. Okay, well they've crossed the line, they've trespassed, and next thing you know, you're defending yourself because they've trespassed and they've gone through all these things. Their attention seeking, the jealousy, the greed, the envy. Then they've acted on this lie. They start lying, and then it gets physical, and they start to affect you. Okay, start to affect your physical well-being, and that you're gonna have to defend yourself. But more times than not, who ends up getting in trouble because then they spin it that it's your fault. Okay, because you defended yourself. Okay, so even acknowledging these psychological games, they start to even spin that you acknowledge that. Okay, so that's how you know that you're really dealing with a piece of work, a POS, okay, that has got problems upstairs. All right, and I don't have time to really deal with all of it. You know what I'm saying? Because I have my own life. I have my own agendas. I have my own ambitions. You know what I'm saying? That I could never even imagine myself even having time to to want to chase this clout of other people. Why don't you go get your own damn clout? All right. Okay. Do you know what ambition is? Okay. I mean, you might be able to coach these people more times than not. So even acknowledge them. A lot of times, what I'm saying, they're going to spin it that you're starting trouble or something. They'll try to tattle on you for something, or that they'll say you talk noise or something by you acknowledging them shoving you. Okay, them playing these psychological games that they deserve to get decked in the face for. All right, and they know it. But what's going to happen? You're going to get in trouble. Okay, because that's the way things are set up. That's the way the system that we're on now. You know what I'm saying? That people have gotten away with playing psychological games, and they're playing this little game, pulling people in different ways, seeking attention, doing all kinds of little things so they can just get a clout and attention, and getting what they would think to be some sort of notoriety, you know what I'm saying? But all that's doing is that it's filling the void that was left into their empty shell of a soul that has become jaded and toxic. Okay, and if you have ambitions and you're seeking some type of positive goal, some positive agenda that you're seeking to achieve, you're not going to have time for this. You don't have time for these psychological games that people are playing like this in this way. Okay, so the only thing that you can do, is if that's still on a healthy level, you know what I'm saying, talk things out, talk people back down, talk to because you may be able to coach them back to a narcissist, and you may be able to say things that before, and even though that has acted out, you can set a boundary and go, look, you're not gonna touch me anymore because you trespass, and all these little things, the attention seeking, the greed, the envy, the jealousy. I didn't say nothing, but when you cross the line and you touched me, that trespassed, and I ain't playing that no more. All right, that's not gonna happen. Okay, and so you can try to set a boundary, but if not, you're already at like level 7 and 8. Okay, and the next thing is you may have to defend yourself. Okay, from these people. Okay, that started trouble with you, antagonized you. They got a reaction out of you, which starts to get them off. So the next step, they may try to spin it, at any point to try to get you in trouble, to lie, to get attention or something like this. And so you're just gonna have to, taking the high road. I'm just saying, do you want to have to go through all that? Taking a high road just means you may have to take a tease. Just know that you can have no dealings ever with this person again. Okay, ever, because nothing beneficial ever can happen from you associating with this person. Okay, all right, and it could be simple, and you can nip it in the bud once you hear a narcissistic phrase. I was the one. Okay, so what is actually happening with this person's brain? Okay, so this displacement, this part of the brain from a parental figure leaving is gone. Okay, that and that parent could have been showing them a lot of attention. They could have been nurturing them. They could have been teaching them skills, life skills, but they didn't, and so it's gone. And so that attention, they're going to try to get attention. That's going to be filled with something. That being you, being your energy, you being somewhat relatively near them. If you're near them, they'll be able to be a psychic vampire, and will be able to take your psychic energy. Okay, so you can't be anywhere near these people. Okay, you can't. There's not, but you may be able to, as long as that's on a healthy level, be able to coach them. Okay, and once things start to be out of control, if it's a friend or family member, you may actually have to coach them. Okay, you may have to tell somebody like it is. Okay, and maybe that maybe not be sugar coated, but what ends up happening is that displacement and that void being filled with you and your energy, your hard work, and there's nothing beneficial that's ever going to happen from it. Okay, because then they'll spin things, they'll lie, and all these things seem to be like they're legal. They're not laws against this, right? You know what I'm saying? There's not. All right. I mean, you can check and see, but it seems to be like the way of the world. The way people are acting. People are getting away with this type of actions. Okay, the best thing to do is just not have any type of contact with them. Okay, like be hard. And then and then so talking about things from a psychological standpoint, is probably the best that you can do. Start to analyze things from that, because acknowledging them only fuels their fire. Okay, and that's only going to start to get their psychological rocks off, where you don't want their psychological game to be played, and that being played on you, because they started to get a rise out of you. Sometimes that might be something like that. They may be playing a psychological game to get a rise out of you, to get an emotion out of you. Okay, they may be trying to do that and then spin it so you get in trouble. Okay, and they're laughing the whole time. They just start laughing the whole time, and it's one huge big joke to them. And then once detectives start asking things, and they start asking why, and he gets down to the why, and they just go, I just wanted attention, and y'all all fell for it, man. And then that ends up being the case 9 times out of 10. So I'm gonna wrap this one up, going on another little 15-minute video here. But we just wanted to reiterate some of these points, saying dismantling the narcissism, a narcissistic phrase, going on. So what exactly was happening with that narcissistic phrase? you know, and so a displacement and a void is filled, with energy. Okay, it could be positive. It could be positive. Nine times out of ten, things spoil, things go bad, and then when bad people are around other bad people, and it's like going through psychological problems. They become psychopaths once they act out on them. Okay, you don't want to be anywhere near somebody who's going through this. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this one up and do another one here in a second.